Welcome to the Crosstown 9. It's episode 3, but really episode 1. Only the OG fans will understand that reference. Jhon and Chris here to talk Yankees and Mets. Quick PSA, we're going to still talk Mets, but we do not have a Mets person with us at this moment right now. So just have to get two Yankees fans' perspective of Mets for a little bit, and then we'll change it to where you can get some actual Mets fans or something like that, whatever. Jhon, how you doing? How's it going? Are we ready for the season to start? It starts today on release day, so very exciting.
Yeah, super excited. I think the WBC was a good little appetizer, some competitive, fun baseball, and now we got season starting. I think both New York teams should be super excited for what the season has.
Speaking of WBC, we're going to get right into WBC. By the way, make sure you follow us on all socials at Crosstown 9 Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube if you're watching right now, or subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you follow other podcasts within Schnabel Studios, including Mad Props Pod, and which just had an episode come out right before this with Kyle Higgins of the Megaverse and Radiant Black. And next week has one with Dr. Tosh from Scrubs, so go check that out. And then check out Sketching Up as well. All right, I gotta breeze through that because we talked about it a little bit. And we talked about it in the Lost episodes, but I really just have to say, what the U.S. losing, one, was funny because we captured the Venezuelan president and then 2 weeks later lost them in the WBC, which is just only in baseball can that happen. No other sport. That is baseball, Susan, where you capture a country's president and then somehow lose to them in your sports, in your country's national pastime. But there's a couple things that came out of WBC for the U.S. team that really just frustrated me. So I've been waiting to get on mic and say it. Number one, I understand Judge struggled in the last two games. Let's not forget, the first thing he did was hit a home run against Brazil. I thought he was okay for the entire tournament. Like, we can't say he sucked and then not talk about Kyle Schwarber or Bryce Harper. Like, Bryce Harper was looked at as a hero when he was like 2 for 45 in the entire tournament. And he had that one home run that tied the game. That's number one. But the biggest thing I have, I don't really have to go too much into many, but the biggest thing I have with the entire U.S. team is Mark DeRosa is a moron. He's an absolute moron. Like, one, maybe the worst baseball manager of all time. And I'm not even talking MLB. I'm not talking professional. Like, I think there are middle school teams that may have a manager with more knowledge of what's going on than Mark DeRosa did. Like, he didn't know that they didn't clinch. He didn't start like an actual starter on the championship game. Like, I get the dude from the Mets. He is good, and he was pretty good in that game. But you had Logan Webb. You had, I think, what was it, Mitch Kelly came in after, or Mitch Keller? I can't remember. One of those two came in after. You had actual guys with experience. Just show that you actually want to win the game. Put in an actual MLB proven guy, one of the top guys. Logan Webb was the number 2 pitcher in all World Baseball Classic. Didn't start in the championship. He got skipped over for someone else. And then 9th inning, why is Miller not in the game? Like, this isn't a series. Put your best. The guy throws 103. Like, what are we doing? Like, just put the guy in, get out of the inning, and try to win it in the bottom. So those three things, and then the other one would be the U.S. And then you could say whatever you want because I just went on a rant. We're not even 5 minutes in. The other thing that just drove me nuts is Skubal, just bad guy. Bad guy, does not care about it. No, I don't. I could do without him. He's a free agent. If the Yankees sign him, still wouldn't like him. Bad guy. He goes, not only did he say I can miss my start, and then there's the whole story, I drove through the rainstorm, whatever. Not only could that, two things could happen. One, he could have just pitched against the DR. It would have been the same day as he pitched, or a day after when he pitched in spring training anyway. And then they would have Paul Skeens for the championship, or just pitch anyway. Like, this is a tournament. This is to actual win something. Like, oh, I might miss one start in the regular season. One start, just pitch the next day. Who really cares? They have a stacked rotation anyway. They went out and got 2 more pitchers. They already had Flaherty. They already have Skubal. Like, they already have a good rotation. Like, it's just like the U.S. almost won it without giving 2 damns about the entire tournament. Like, they did not care the entire time. All the celebrations were completely forced. They never wanted to celebrate on anything. Guys didn't really care. Like, no one really had an urge to win. Still almost won the thing, but did not deserve to win it. Like, Venezuela deserved to win it. Guys were crying after they won. If the U.S. would have won, they would just give some handshakes and walk to the dugout. Like, they did not care. So that frustrated me as someone that really wanted them to win.
Yeah, you touched on a lot. I think the thing with a lot of the stuff that happened, specifically with the U.S., because that's like we're here, right? We're in the U.S.,
Yeah,
so it's easy to hear
that is
everything
the
when it comes
country
to
of
the U.S.
origin.
team. I think what makes how they played in the WBC so frustrating is all kind of the rules that they had to follow from the organizations that limited their players, right? Because I think that was the Miller thing, was that
Hmm.
he talked to the Padres, and Padres were like, only if it's a safe situation. But it's like, if he's in there to pitch in the ninth, maybe the game is still tied, and you're talking about a completely different situation. So it's kind of those sorts of limits are very annoying when you're talking about the WBC and how MLB wants it to be this big deal.
But that's stupid too, because the dude that blew the game, the dude from the
I
Red
agree.
Sox, pitched 3 out of 5 days.
I agree.
So you don't
I
care about
agree.
him, but you
It's
you care
weird.
about Miller. Oh, the Padres might miss Miller for opening day. Like, no, there's a whole week in between. Like, I feel like we're not even thinking. It ended last week. Why would Scooble miss a start? It ended last week. Like, he'd have a whole week to rest. That's a
Yeah, I think
normal thing.
the Scooble thing, I think, is very like it's Scooble was thinking about Scooble, right? Which fine, you're about to get paid a crap ton of money
Yeah.
when you become a free agent, as long as you stay healthy. So I think the Scooble thing was just like, and I think the baseball players with their agents, they listen to their agents so much when it comes to how they operate that I think his agent was probably like, is he a Boris guy?
I
Like
don't
his
know if he's
agent
a
was probably
Boris guy, but I
his
know there
agent was
was.
just like, you're not pitching, like
Yeah,
don't do this. There's no reason
don't lose
to.
my money. I
Yeah,
mean, our money. I
essentially.
mean, your money.
Essentially, though, he's like, don't go out there pitching in an exhibition, and then blow
But
your
it's
arm
just silly
out,
because he
and then you're
pitched like
screwed.
5 innings in a spring training game, like right
Yeah,
before the DR game. So
but
he
I
could
guess
either
it's,
pitch the DR game or he could have skipped the spring training start and just pitched the championship. That's what everyone was like. Well, he could have pitched the championship. Well, that's
yeah,
fine. Have him pitch the DR game, and Skeens does like the day before he does a bullpen, and Skeens can pitch against whoever it is in the championship 2 days later. Like, it
yeah, but
doesn't.
I just don't. I agree,
No, I know,
but
but
it's
there
that
was
they
the
just
rumor.
they're not gonna do it that way, like
But there
because
was the
they,
rumor they called DeRosa and said, "Don't let him pitch," and
yeah,
DeRosa like talked him out of it. It's like,
yeah,
dude, you are the manager of the team. Venezuela, they literally said, "Don't pitch our guys on back to backs," and then they pitched the guy 3 straight games. Like, he
yeah.
didn't care. He's like, "Well, I'll ask for forgiveness because I want to
But
win."
that's the weird thing, right? Is that the U.S. I felt like had so many limitations on how they could use their pitchers. Well, I feel like yeah, Venezuela didn't care. Like, and I don't know if like is
Everyone had
that
the
player thing?
limitations.
Is that an
The U.S. is
organization
the only one
thing?
that cared.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think
Yeah,
that's probably
except for
true.
Canada, who their best pitcher was James Paxton, who's no longer on a team. Which I
I
think
remember hearing I remember hearing his name, and I was yeah, I think it was you texting, and I was
I was
like,
like,
is he
update, he still
still pitching?
sucks. He's still terrible. He did not
Yeah,
leave a. There's a couple reasons he did not leave a good taste in my mouth because one, obvious, but also he was on my fantasy team one year and was awful then too. So I do not. I'm not a James Paxton guy,
yeah,
unfortunately. But
that was a
the
fun stay with the
WBC was an
Yankees.
awesome tournament.
Yeah,
It was really fun. It was fun to see Venezuela win as much as I wanted America to win because I like Judge and I live in the country and I was following it. Went to a couple of the games. I guess I could talk about that a little bit because, like we said, the lost episodes earlier. I got to go to the first game of the WBC for the U.S., which is against Brazil, and then I got to go to the see the Italy team against well, again Brazil, but they were both against Brazil, so both were wins for the teams I was rooting for. One had Alec Jacob, former Gonzaga player, went out to support him, and in the first one, I went out to the Team USA game, bought a Judge jersey, USA Judge jersey, and like was going to our seat after that, and Judge hit the home run like a row over from us. It was like an awesome, awesome moment. And that team, I can't actually believe that team lost because that team was so stacked. But when you actually go back and look at the stats from the entire WBC, like I said, Schwarber was like one
Yeah.
for whatever 30. Harper was like 2 for 30. Like
Al Raleigh, same thing.
Kyle Raleigh, at one point they stopped playing him. Oh, I got to go back to Mark DeRosa really quick. Like they took Bregman out because he was struggling, and Gunnar Henderson went 3 for 4 with a homer, and then didn't play in the championship. And the best hitter through the entire tournament was PCA. Did not play in the championship. It's like I don't. It's not. It's this isn't little league. Not everyone has to play. Like you're competing for a championship.
It was very Yankee-esque.
It was.
It was like
I said that too. I was like, this.
they had they have a lefty on the mound. Like, all right, let's change our whole lineup.
Right. I know PCA's batting 750, but
Let's change our whole lineup
do
because
that.
that's what the number says.
Yeah. Don't go with the best player. Go with the numbers. Numbers not. Buxton's 1 for 24, but like, put him in there. He's going to do fine.
He's due.
Lefty. He's due.
Analytics say he's due.
It's all analytics until they're due. Then it's all about, well, he's due. It's like, oh, yeah, the analytics said he's awful and should never touch a bat, but he's due. So he's got to get one. He's got to get one. Newsflash, he did not get one. And neither did Bregman. Bregman also was awful. Bregman was another one, though. He was 2 or 3 for whatever. And then they switch him out, and then they put him back in for the championship. It just, a lot of stuff didn't make sense. It was like they didn't really want to win.
Everyone stunk that game. Everyone stunk.
Yeah, they were there so they don't get fined kind of thing. And it was just tough. It was tough to watch as someone that wanted to see them win, or someone that could have managed better. Like I could have managed the whole game better. But WBC was really exciting. The championship had 11 million viewers, which is pretty crazy. It's the most viewed WBC game ever, up there for baseball games as a whole. I mean, this is at the end of the day, this is a spring training tournament. That one game got 11 million people to tune into. So. Luckily, they know it's successful, so they can do it when they decide that they have all this momentum and lock out at the end of this year. So they could just continue to do the WBC if they
be
want
positive.
To.
Be a little positive.
Well, they did get Tony Clark is out, so maybe they will come to a decision there. But other than that, baseball is getting started. It's going to be a very weird transition over from like these games that meant so much and had so much energy. We went from an amazing World Series to a great WBC, and then we're going back into regular season baseball. So like the energy won't be as high, like not every game's going to be as important. It's just going to be a weird transition, but I am very ready for baseball to start. Very ready for opening day. We're going to start with the Mets. I know nobody on here is a Mets fan, but we still want to talk Mets. That's the whole point of the podcast. They announced their roster 2 days ago from recording. It's from release today on recording. Like I said to you pre-podcast, the only thing I saw is Craig Kimbrell did not make the roster, which made me go, he's still active? Why is it a news story? They didn't make the roster. I didn't think he would. But there's a lot of former Yankees in that bullpen. Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, and then Clay Holmes is still starting, but 3 former Yankees in there. But overall, the team looks like it's going to be pretty good.
On paper?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying overall, but you look on paper, the back of the baseball cards are pretty nice on this team.
Yeah, I think you can compare, or I guess you can see the differences in the 2 New York teams and how they handle the offseason, right? The Yankees are running it back as much as they say that they're not. And the Mets essentially overhauled their roster.
Yes.
But I don't think that because they overhauled their roster that they answered all their questions. Mm-hmm. Like I still think they have questions up and down the lineup and in pitching. But I do think that their upside is a lot higher. Especially their starting pitching. I think if their arms stay healthy, I think their starting pitching will be really good. And I do think that obviously they have Soto, they have Lindor, Francisco Alvarez has a fully healthy season. I think he's a really good catcher. Mm-hmm. But like Bo Bichette at third, Polanco at first.
Yeah, let me go through really quick. And so catching is Francisco Alvarez. Coming back for his 3rd full season now, or 2nd full season. Jorge Polanco just traded for him. He is going to man first base with Brett Beatty and Mark Vientos. Marcus Simeon will play second. Bo Bichette at third. Again, Beatty and Vientos behind him. So kind of the corner infields are the same group, except for the starters. Lindor at short, Soto in left field, Luis Robert in center. Did we decide on Robert or Robert? I think we did
I think
Robert.
it's Robert.
I think it's Robert, but I think we said we're going to go with Robert because it sounds cooler. So we'll go with
Fine by me.
Robert. LRJ in center. No, that's not as cool. Luis Robert in center, and then Carson Benj, young guy. We were talking. I just got to. This is completely off topic, but on topic. We were talking pre-show about numbers and how I told you how I go with 93 because I don't want to argue about numbers, and that's my birth year. No one picks 93. No one's ever going to pick 93. 93 is a weird number. It's like 99 looks cool. 93 is like, what the hell? Well, Carson Benj is number 93. So I just had to bring that up.
Well, that's hilarious.
It's 93.
That's a hilarious
So I would be
coincidence.
fighting with Carson Benj if I wanted my number. But he's in right field. They have Beatty, Polanco, and Vientos. So basically, whoever's not playing first, it seems like they're going to be the DH for this team. So overall, the starting nine, that's not too bad. Polanco is very good a couple years ago, still a pretty good hitter, but he's just, he's definitely gone. He's definitely on the decline from there. Simeon, I think, is the same. I was surprised when they traded for Simeon, and everybody made a big stink about it. He had that really good year in Toronto, that unbelievable year with the Rangers when they won the World Series, and then he's kind of been like average at best from then on out. I know Bo Bichette's good, but I had him on my fantasy team for a long time, and he wasn't good when he was there, so I like to say he's not good, but I do know he's actually pretty good. But then the starting rotation, they got Freddie Peralta, who's going to be great. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be great there. Nolan McLean, that's the guy we were talking about that started the championship game. He did really well. He does have ridiculously good stuff, but that's their number 2 starter right now. Clay Holmes, David Peterson, Kodai Senga, and then Sean Manaea got put to the bullpen, but he'll be that other starter when somebody inevitably goes out during the season. So the rotation, I think, is actually a big question mark. I know you said if they stay healthy, it could be pretty good, but Clay Holmes going into his second year of being a starter. Nolan McLean came up at the end of last year, but that's really it. David Peterson's pretty good. Kodai Senga has been hurt basically his entire Mets tenure. And Sean Manaea is very hitter. He's going to go on a run of 8 straight really good starts, and he's going to have 10 straight awful starts. So I think the rotation's actually very shaky.
Yeah, I think all of my thought of their rotation is if they stay healthy. I think all my questions with them is health. Like Kodai Senga, if he feels a pinch anywhere in his body, he'll shut himself down. Clay Holmes, year 2 after starting, for the first time last season. How is he to respond? Freddie Peralta, I think, is the only one on that one that I'm like,
yeah, he's
you could slot him in. He's good. No worries about him.
And
then
no worries. That was a good trade.
And then McLean, I think he's good. I think he's a young pitcher, so it's kind of just see how does he react to a full season in the big leagues.
Yeah, and they have him slide as the number 2 though right now, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I think they were debating before the Peralta trade. I think they were debating if he was going to be their opening day starter. So it's like,
and that's why they went to get Peralta because
they needed an ace. Yeah.
I like their bullpen a lot. I don't know. I guess Devin Williams is going to be closing games for them. It's got to be him, probably Luke Weaver.
I think it'll be the same thing, the same debate that we had when they were Yankees. It was like Devin Williams until he stinks, then Weaver until he stinks, and then they'll just kind of go back and forth.
Luke Weaver, towards the end of that Yankee tenure, started to be on the decline as well. He kind of had a little Jeremy Lin run of a couple of years, and then went back to why nobody had him for when they got him. I mean, he was 30 years old when he came to the Yankees.
He was a failed starter, right?
He was a failed starter for a long time, and they threw him in the bullpen, just said, just throw as hard as you can, basically, and he was throwing 100. Devin Williams, I think, is going to be really good. I think Devin Williams is good. I just think he didn't work out for the Yankees. I actually think he's still a good pitcher. I think it was still kind of there. He just missed his spots a lot more. The Yankees are notoriously known for making pitchers pitch off speed more than fastballs. Sonny Gray literally wanted to leave because all they made him do is pitch a slider, and he's like, I want to pitch my fastball. Like that's my out pitch. And they made him pitch slider after slider. I think if they his changeup is his out pitch, but I think it just threw his confidence off when he would throw it a bunch of times. He would get hit around, and now it's like now he can't locate anything. I think he's going to be really good over there. But other than that, I don't think I know anyone else in this bullpen. I can name some. I know AJ Minter, and well, I'm not going to say Sean Manaea because I don't actually think he's going to come out of the bullpen. I think they're going to hold off. He'll be like a mop up guy or something like that, and then he'll if there's like a day where he has to start or like a starter gets bounced after one, he comes in like a long relief kind of guy. And I know Luis Garcia, so I'm not going to say. There's one name I definitely am not going to say because I don't want to butcher it. But Brian Hudson, Richard Lovelady,
Brazaban is the
Tobias
name you didn't want to
Myers.
say.
Yeah, I don't want to do that one. So that guy, Brooks Raley. I think I know who Brooks Raley is as well. And then AJ Minter, he came from the Braves. He was pretty good, but he's been on the other side of that. Luke Weaver, Devin Williams. So I only know like four of their bullpen guys, but I guess that's all you really need.
It's true, but I think I think obviously their back end of the bullpen's gonna be Weaver and Williams, and I
Yeah,
think that they're gonna be, especially if they're like competing for a playoff spot or prepping for playoffs, as I think everyone expects them to be, they're going to be one of the teams in the bullpen market. But I think they have they have major league arms in the bullpen, right? Which I think is what you need during the season. And I think come trade deadline, they're going to look to add another arm. Hopefully, they're not looking for a closer if you're a Mets fan, and that either a combination of Williams and Weaver can get that done.
it's working
And
out.
now you're
Yeah.
just looking to just solidify it because they do have major league arms in the bullpen, which I think will help them. Again, especially if their starters stay healthy and perform like a lot of people anticipate them performing. Um, but I think their bullpen is fine for the start of the season.
Yeah. So who's the person you think is going to be the MVP of the team? Who's the person that you think is going to be just like a complete bust or somebody that's like not going to perform to what they think? And who do you think the underrated player of the team is going to be? We'll start with MVP.
I mean, the obvious one is Juan Soto, right? If I'm
Well,
going
not as obvious because Lindor almost won MVP
yeah,
with the Mets.
I think Soto is throwing the ball. If I'm going someone out of the big of Soto and Lindor, I'm excited to see how Robert, whatever, how he
Robert.
plays this year because I was curious if the Yankees were going to be involved in that if they didn't keep Grisham and Bellinger. Because I think he's one of those players similar to Jazz leaving Miami that with him leaving Chicago, if he's playing in a big city competing for playoffs, will he be able to kind of go back to how he was before? It made him such an interesting prospect, an interesting player. That I think he's going to be one that's going to be really fun to watch. In terms of someone who I think is going to be a bust, I don't know why Jorge Polanco just sticks out to me, either him or Simeon. Just because he's never played first base and now he's being pushed there. Like, is that going to be enough for him to warrant him playing first base? Um, that's a big question mark for me. Simeon, I think, will be a solid glove, similar for the Yankees with McMahon. Like, if he's just a solid glove, whatever he gives us with the bat, we'll kind of take. I think it'll be a lot like that.
But I think with the Mets, you can't. I think Simeon and Polanco were brought in to try to fill the Pete Alonso gap, and I don't think they can. So, Jorge Polanco last year did hit 26 home runs in Seattle, but the 3 seasons before that, 16, 14, 16, and then he had that 33 home run year in 2021, which really is what boosted his stock overall. And then Simeon, I believe he was a 2019 guy, if I remember right. I'm going to tell you about 2 seconds. But last year with the Rangers, he only had 15 home runs, 23, 29 is the year that they won the World Series. He had 29 home runs, 26. It was 2021, he hit 45, and in 2019, he hit 33. So he was one of those 2019 guys, and then he was one of the 2021 guys because that was another big breakout in home runs. And hasn't, he definitely had it together a couple more years after that, but has had a huge downfall. I mean, he's almost half his home runs from 2 years ago, last year. So we'll see from those two. I mean, technically, if you put them together, it does reach the home runs of Pete Alonso, but not what they're really looking for in that way. And then the only one I'll bring up is Luis Robert. 2023 had the 38 home runs. Other than that, has never had more than 14, including last year. He had 14. And last year he did play in 110 games, but the only time he even reached close was 145. That's when he had 38 home runs. So can he stay healthy? And when he stays healthy, can he do it? So cool. Let's go over to the Yankees because that's the team we really want to talk about. And we're already 25 minutes into this thing, way more time than I thought we would, spending on the Mets. But Yankees, like you said, kind of running it back. I will say running it back a little bit with the team they've already had and running it back a little bit with the team they made at the trade deadline. They did pick up like a bunch of relievers and stuff at the deadline, and they're running it back. Like Bendar is going to be their closer this year. Doval will be also someone big in the bullpen with Fernando Cruz. Tim Hill is also coming back, though, as one of their relievers. Their 9 will be Austin Wells behind the plate, Ben Wright at first base, splitting with Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm at second, McMahon at third. With right now they have well, that's not right because I don't even know if he's gonna make the roster. They have Volpe at short, but Volpe's not going to be playing short.
No, they'll have Caballero at short.
Caballero will be at short. So we'll say Caballero. That the MLB, get your stuff together because Volpe will not be playing. Caballero will be at short. Bellinger, who they brought back on big time contract, 35 a year, will be. I think they might have the most expensive outfield in baseball, which is funny because they do not have the best outfield in baseball. But Bellinger
they
will
did
be
statistically
in left,
last year.
Grisham in center, Judge in right, Stanton as the DH. I guess, yeah, statistically last year they may have. But we can get into it. I don't think Gresham's going to be as good this year as he was last year.
It's my scare. Like, I'm so scared.
Yeah, I
was so scared of Grisham in center.
As of right now, we got Fried, Schittler, Warren, Weathers, and then Heel was moved to the bullpen. They will have Rodon and Cole. Rodon is expected to be back April 25th. Cole, I gotta imagine gonna be back soon. He did start a game in preseason or in spring training, so he might not be back for opening day, but I gotta imagine he's not too far behind. Clark Schmidt is on the 60-day. He's not due back until June, so we'll see that then. On this MLB depth chart, though, it does have David Bendar as the closer, which is nice because that's what he is. Other people in the bullpen are Paul Blackburn, Ryan Yarborough, let's see, Jake Bird. And then that's really the key names in the bullpen there. So what do you think? Running it back. What is your initial thought on running it back?
Overall, I'm excited. The only question mark I have is Grisham. Like, I think he's my main concern. And I think the season concern will be when Volpe comes back. Are they just is he the full-time shortstop again? And is he going to be any good?
Yeah.
But I think, like, Judge, Stanton are still really good. Obviously, Judge is the best player in baseball.
Yeah.
Jazz contract year. I think he's going to ball out. McMahon really good defensively. Like, I can just go position by position and talk about every player, but I'll avoid doing that. Overall, I'm excited. I think they're one of the best teams in baseball. Like, I don't think that's crazy to say. I think
that's pretty standard to say.
I think they should be favored to win the division. I think they should probably be one of the best teams in the AL. Like, I'm very excited for the season. And I think, again, as long as everyone's healthy.
Yeah, we got to keep the health together.
Which, like, as a Yankee fan, who knows? But as long as everyone's healthy, I think they're going to be very good.
McMahon has had 20 home runs in every season except for one since 2019. The one season he did not have 20 home runs would be the 2020 season. Statistically, about a 240 hitter, but he is an excellent defender. We've talked about it a bunch, but back in the day when they were doing this trade, we had a back and forth on Twitter about Suarez or all these other third basemen. I was like, the Yankees will get Ryan McMahon. Like, he has pinstripes written on him. Like, he's going to be there. And then a couple days later, that's what they did. They went out and got him because it makes sense. He's a left-handed bat. He's a really good defender, which that team needed good defense, especially after that World Series run. So you just had to come in with defenders. So I agree in center field with Trent Grisham. I am a little worried about that as well. I'm definitely also worried about it because Dominguez sent down to the minors, which again, well, I keep referencing, but the lost episodes we said they should send him down and let him figure some stuff out. The Yankees don't ever do that, so it's nice to see that. But with him sent down, Bellinger's the backup center fielder, and after that, it's Aaron Judge. So it's you got to move somebody out to move somebody in. There's no
Yeah.
actual
Well,
backup
who do
center
they?
fielders.
They kept another outfielder.
They have Ahmed Rosario, who's literally the backup at every single position on the diamond, except for
They're
catcher.
keeping.
And then they have Randall Grisham right
Yes,
now
thank you.
as the other outfielder, but he is
Yes.
not a center fielder. So he will not be, but he can take over left
Stanton
or right. And Stanton did get some burn in the outfield last year. So if it comes down to it,
starting center fielder. Who says
starting
no?
center fielder. Who says no? Both, I think. It's just so funny. Like, I think Stanton had like 9 home runs in spring training. He actually did convince me to keep him in one of my dynasty leagues. But like, it's still funny to watch him hit a 450-foot home run spring training and just know the story. Like, he couldn't open a bag of chips. And it's just like, how does he hit a 450 home run and he can't open a bag of chips? Also, if you can't open a bag of chips, I love you, Stanton, but you might need to retire if you can't open a bag of chips because it's not going to get better by continuing to play baseball.
Yeah,
But
that injury for him is so interesting and strange. Like, I don't like. Is it something that he needs surgery for and he just doesn't want to do it, or is it something that he needs because it's tennis elbow? Is
in
it
both
something that he just needs
elbows,
to rest for a long period of time, but he also doesn't want
it's
to do that?
it's tennis elbow in both elbows, which is just
Yeah, I don't
wild,
know. It's strange. But he had it
wild
last
stuff.
year, and I guess, offseason didn't do anything to help it, and now
I
he's
guess
dealing with it
not.
again this year. And
I don't know if the offseason can actually do anything to
yeah,
help tennis elbow, but we've talked about it a couple times before. He has 3 straight seasons with 20 plus home runs, but hasn't hit the 30 mark since 2022. Um, he has last year he did hit 273, but he only played 77 games.
yeah,
He hasn't played over 114 games since 2021. Hasn't played over 150 games since 2018, his first year with the Yankees, which, by the way, he did hit almost 40 home runs that year. For the people that love to say he's never had a good season with the Yankees, he's had at least 3 good seasons with the Yankees. Just want to throw that out there. Um, but it's definitely been a decline, and he's definitely been injured a lot. And the one bad part, and I do like Stanton a lot. Stanton was one of my favorite players before he came to the Yankees. So seeing him come to the Yankees, I support him as much as I possibly can. But the biggest thing with Stanton is he holds up that DH spot, and it's like the Yankees can't go out and make certain moves because they know that DH spot is always going to be taken there.
yeah,
And that's the part that kind of sucks. Like, I love him, but he can't learn first base. Like, Ben Rice I think he's going to be really good. I'll say he's probably be my sleeper on the team to have a really good season is Ben Rice. Just he had a good season last year. I think he's actually legitimately good. Like, I think Austin Wells is good, but I think Austin Wells we can also see this year is just not good at all. Where on the flip side, I think Ben Rice is actually a good player. I think he's actually got it together kind of thing. Um, but they before Ben Rice came along, they tried to get Stanton at first, tried to get him on the field so they can clear out that spot, and he just couldn't play first either. And it's just tough that I have a guy that the production's clearly dropping and just doesn't can't go anywhere else on the field. It was lucky he got out in the outfield last year, and we'll see if he does it again this year.
yeah. It was one of those contracts where I feel like no matter how good he plays, like people are always gonna hate on him because of that, right? Like he's always gonna miss at least 50 games, like, and he's only good at DH, like, so it's hard, especially when you have like Judge in the outfield who you would like to get off his feet. Um,
Yeah.
Someone like Ben Rice who defensively has question marks. Maybe you can just throw him at DH, and some things like that, and you just can't because Stan is a really good hitter. So
Hmm.
you want to get him in there whenever he's healthy. But that's the thing, right? He's not healthy. He's not always healthy.
Yeah, he's not.
So
He's usually
on those,
unhealthy.
so then you're in a weird predicament with him. And even though his contract now, because he's at the tail end of it, isn't that egregious, especially how much guys are getting paid now.
Yeah, he's actually kind
Is
of at a discount for a 25 plus home run guy.
Yeah, but it's like he doesn't offer anything else. Like
And
he can't
I
run.
I do think Yankee fans have softened on him
Yeah.
because of how good he is in the postseason. Like he legitimately is the best player on the planet every single postseason. He just completely locks in. I don't understand where it comes from. I don't understand how he can't do that during the season, but he just absolutely when you're versing the best pitchers on the best teams, he just is a 500 hitter with 10 home runs. But I think because of that World Series run, the 2020 run, there has been a couple of runs where he was just the best player on the field. Fans have kind of they still go after him a little bit, but you don't hear as much as he used to. I mean, after I think it was 2019, 2020, 2021, that range, people were eviscerating him for never staying on the field and eating so much money and being an unmovable contract. But especially, I would say that World Series run, I think people have lightened up a little bit to Stan.
Yeah, and the Yankees now have between the Volpe hate and Dominguez hate and for
Yeah,
some reason the Judge hate. Like there's enough players now for the hate to go around.
yeah, yeah. It's funny because you have the judges and clutch stuff that happens all the time, and I'll be a defender in some ways, but in some ways, yeah, he does. He is coming up and not coming through, and it sucks. Like it does suck as a big Judge fan to see that happen. But as a Yankee fan, what you really have to think of is he wouldn't even be in that clutch situation if it wasn't for him hitting 57 home runs and batting 340. So you got to kind of think about it that way. He also had a pretty good postseason when they went to the World Series. I think he struggled in the World Series, if I remember right, especially in center field, which he shouldn't have been in the first place. He shouldn't have been in center field to begin with. But overall, like he had a pretty good postseason, if I remember right. He had the big clutch home run in games in the sixth inning of one of the games. Like you just gotta, he's still. It's funny because he's been in the league for a while, since 2017, but for people like someone that is his age, which I believe now he's 33 or 34, like most of those guys, like Bryce Harper's been in the league longer than him, and he's like 2 years younger than him. So like if you really think about it, he has been in the league all that long. So he hasn't had that many clutch moments to come up in. He hasn't had that many, especially 2017 happened, and then after that, you don't get back to the you don't even get to the World Series until whatever. But yeah, it hurts. I try to defend him as much as I can, but then when you see him strike out after Bryce Harper hits the game-tying home run, it's tough.
Yeah, and my whole thing too with him, like I think I think he's great. Like I don't argue. I don't get into the arguments of clutch or not clutch. My
I don't think it's ever
argument,
been an argument that he's not great, by the way. And if it
yeah,
is,
no,
that
yeah.
person's a moron. He should be a
My
four-time MVP.
my argument is always with the team that's been put around him. Like, because my thing with the Yankees is year in and year out, you always have question marks with everyone. Like, I think this year is different because you've seen this team play already.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no question marks.
there's
It's
no
just like, yeah,
questions.
he's fine.
It's just of like, can the players that had like one-off years, like Grisham, can they repeat? Can Ben
Yeah.
Rice continue to improve? Things like that. But like in previous years, you're like, who's in left field? Like, is that a major league left fielder? Like, who do they have at short? Like, who are these relief pitchers coming in? Who's starting this game? X, Y, and Z. Like, that's always been my thing with the Yankees is like, for a team that spends close to or over $300 million every year, it's strange how many question marks they consistently have in their roster. And how many bad contracts that they've given out and have to eat and maneuver around, and it limits them in X, Y, and Z. Because my issue, that was always been my thing with the Yankees is it's never a question of how much money they're spending; it's the allocation of that money. Well, and I think this year, again, the Grisham one is a big question mark. The 22 million for can he repeat? Um, but I think that this year's team has as many like I know what they're going to give me.
Hmm.
And so let's just go out, play baseball, and let's kind of see how the season goes. Where I'm not like, oh God, like who are these people and why like what are they going to give this team to get Aaron Judge to the World Series?
Yeah, I mean, just going off the payroll thing. Aaron Judge, first of all, is not the highest paid player on the team right now. It is Cody Bellinger with
Well,
the
yeah,
contract he just got because it's very top heavy. But Bellinger's 42, Judge is 40, Cole is 36, Stan's 29. So I thought it was actually lower than that, but it's 29. Rodon 27, Grisham is 22. Um, McMahon 16 and Freed at 14 this year, and then that jumps into the 30s next year. So, like, I mean, then you go down to some other ones, but you're talking about the allocation. Like, Cole has been out, but Cole's been fantastic. But that's
hmm
another 36 this year, 36 next year, 36 the year after that. Bellinger is good. I like Cody Bellinger. 42.5 million is kind of wild. This goes back to like Kyle Tucker getting 60 a year for 2 years. Like that is kind of wild because after he gets 42 this year, 42 next year, and then it goes all the way down to 25.8 for the rest of the contract. And he's going to probably retire as a Yankee because he's on the Yankees till 2030, 2031, which I think he's in his 30s now. So yeah, he's 30 on the
yeah,
dot. So it'll be 35 when that contract's over. So you're talking about you're paying Cody Bellinger 42 million. There's got to be there's got to be someone out there that can help fill holes. It's not 42 million. They got the reason they had to pay him is because they got desperate. Everybody else was gone at the time. But we talk about Grisham, but I think the biggest question mark for the Yankees is that shortstop. Like
yeah. Not. I believe in
huge question.
Caballero. I'm worried that they're going to move back to Volpe full time, and then Volpe's going to be bad, and then they're going to
I
play their game of going back and forth on who's playing at shortstop, and then they're both going to like stink or not play well, and then it's just a hole at shortstop.
Caballero is good as a backup. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He is a really, really, he is an A tier backup.
hmm
As a starter, I do not like it. Defensively, he'll be fine. If I remember right, he's pretty good defensively. But this man, I'm waiting for the page to load. I believe he's like a 200 hitter. Yeah, so he did have 50 stolen bases last year, which is crazy. But he hit 236 with 5 home runs. The year before that, 227 with 9 home runs. And the year before that, 221 with 4 home runs. So it's going to be one of those where he might play pretty good defense and he's going to be fast when he gets on the bases. But I mean, all of these, he played in 240 games, but it doesn't look like he started all those games. Like, or he was doing what they did with DJ LeMahieu his first year, where he played like 6 different positions. So he would be kind of like that filler guy. He wasn't an actual starter on the field. So now he's going to be the starting shortstop in New York. I get a little worried about that. I don't think Volpe's the answer either. I don't think Volpe's bad. I actually think Volpe, if he went somewhere else, would be pretty good. I just think he can't do it in New York. I think it just kind of fizzled out, and everyone knows how New York is. Once you get to that point, it's hard to recover. It's hard to get it back. There's no Trey Turners coming through here. They're not going to
Yeah.
cheer you on so you hit the grand slam. Like that's kind of it. So I think it's going to be a big hole. I hope he does good, but I think by June we're going to be like, man, what are they going to do at shortstop?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I think the thing that would surprise me from this year at shortstop is if Caballero balls out and they keep him at shortstop as a starter all year long.
Yeah, that would be shocking. Actually,
That would be my surprise. Because I
that would
think
be super shocking.
because I wouldn't be surprised if he's balling and they still put him on the bench and start Volpe. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not good and then Volpe comes back, he plays, and then he's not good either. Like I don't think either one of those things. Well, I think one way or another, I think when Volpe comes back, he's going to be the starting shortstop.
I do too.
And I think I think you're probably right that Volpe, I think, can be a good shortstop in New York. I just have a really bad taste in my mouth from how he played last year.
Yeah, I think if he went to any other team, he'd be really good. I think people would really like him. I think he'd be a really good shortstop. I think he's just going to be an average defender, and that's just how it's going to be. But like, I think overall, he's a solid player. And then, not to be overlooked, although he's not, he's not really that good. He was good for a couple of years in Cleveland, but they do have Ahmad Rosario or Med Rosario. So if something does go wrong, he can at least he's a proven shortstop. But I think by June, the talk is not going to be about the rotation. The talk is not going to be about the bullpen. I don't even think talk's going to be about center field. I think Grisham's going to hit 20 home runs this year, and they're just going to keep him there the whole time. I think it's going to be, what are we going to do at short? Shortstop has been a problem since Gregorius has been gone.
Yeah,
So
I agree with that.
it's not like a new thing. It's not a new thing, and I still to this day think not signing Corey Seager was probably the biggest mistake. I think it's bigger than just bailing on Bryce Harper, which I thought was a pretty big mistake, especially after the Classic, by the way, to see how good of friends
Yeah, they're like best friends, right?
yeah, Judge and Harper are. It was a little upsetting to know like they're really good friends and they just decided not to sign them, and it came from that. They became good friends from that, and they've
Yeah.
been like good friends ever since. But I always thought the biggest mistake was not getting Corey Seager. His swing is built for Yankee Stadium. He wanted to go to a big market. I mean, it ended up working out for him because he won another World Series, another World Series MVP. But he is a clutch hitter. He's always been a clutch hitter, and they need a shortstop. And they decided to pass, and it's been biting them in the butt ever since. There hasn't been a shortstop coming through here since Gregorius that like fits.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Gregorius hit a home run in the World Baseball Classic, by the way, and I missed him. I was like, I'll take that. Come on back.
The most
Open
recent
arms,
clips I saw
baby.
of him was in the beginning of spring training, and he was doing drills with our infield, the Yankee infield. So,
Get him back. I'll take him
yeah.
back.
I
Sign
just
him.
I don't understand why, like, what are the Yankees' struggles in like producing their own talent offensively? Like they have Judge, obviously, but like Volpe, Dominguez being sent down, which I'm in favor of, so I'm fine with it. But
Yeah.
it's like why is he struggling as much as he's struggling? We have Ben Rice, so we'll kind of see how that goes. Wells had a regression last year. Like in terms of like money allocation, right? One thing we talk about, cheap talent and like the
Yeah,
prospects that
that's how
come
you
up,
win.
and yeah,
That's
and
how you
it's
win.
like they miss more than they hit,
I think
especially offensively.
I think there's a couple of reasons. I think one comes down to development, right? Like that's how this all is the actual development of these players. But I think we talked about it a little bit on one. The last player to really get sent down after struggling is now a three-time MVP. Like Aaron Judge came up, was terrible, sent down,
Yeah,
figured it out, came up, and now he's one of the best hitters on the planet, if not the best hitter on the planet. A lot of times they get called up, they refuse to send them back down. I think the other thing is, unlike a lot of situations, like Bobby Witt can come in and prove that he's a top prospect because there's not much pressure around him. Like what I mean by that is when you're coming up and you're Anthony Volpe, the rest of the guys in that lineup are like they're ready to win. There's a lot more pressure on you. And you have guys like Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton that are hitting around you. So you need to kind of prove yourself. That's why I say if Anthony Volpe went to Cleveland, he'd probably be really good. There's guys around him, but there's not as much pressure out there. Like you're in New York, there's a lot of pressure there. You're around a lot of really good players, there's a lot of pressure there, and you don't want to suck. You see what happens. We just talked about with Stanton. One thing that's super underrated about Stanton's career is whether he's been bad or good, he's never let that get to him. Never
yeah,
once. He's never said it gotten to him. He never goes back at the fans. He just carries on. And then he's really good for a month. And then in June he hits 14 home runs. And then in July he hits nothing and he goes on the IL. And then he comes back and he hits 10 more. And then he strikes out 14 times in one game. Like he just comes back and forth. And he just like, this is just who I am. Like they're either going to accept it or not. And that's what it's going to be. But not everybody can do that. I think I said on a previous episode, Again, lost episodes. I keep forgetting those are the lost episodes. But the worst thing that can happen to a player is they come up, they hit a home run in their first at bat, and now you have to teach them like how to actually play baseball. It's the worst thing that can happen. I've had it happen when I coached before. Kid had a really bad swing. I wanted to tell him, you can't do this, can't do this. First at bat hits a home run. It's like, well, now anything you tell him, he's going to be like, but I hit a home run. It's the same thing. First game, first at bat for Dominguez, he hit a home run off of Justin Verlander. And this was Justin Verlander was still Justin Verlander at the time.
Yeah.
He wasn't, the older and the velocity down guy. Like, so now it's going to be hard to tell him, like, this is why you're struggling. Like, yeah, you're a professional coach, but he's a major league hitter that, yeah, obviously I'm doing something right. I was a talented prospect. They said I was the Martian, and then I hit a home run in my first at bat. But then, like we talked about, it's nice to see that he was sent down because that's what you have to do. Same thing happened to Francisco Alvarez, but they sent him down. If you remember, they sent him up for the Braves series when it was like it was do or die, and they're like, all right, go do good, and he like struck out every single at bat. He just wasn't ready for the situation. I think the Yankees do that a little bit. And I think the Yankees feed into their own hype. I think they hype up their own prospects a lot and then feed into it and don't get rid of them when they're at the top of their hype. I think they do. I think they manufacture it themselves, knowing that prospect isn't actually as good as it is. And at the end of the day, like, maybe this prospect is really good. Like, maybe that's true. And then they just feed into it and then they come up. Like, Andujar was a guy that was really good. He was a good prospect. And he was good for a little bit in the pros. But he was, if people forget, like, at one point, there was a trade. It was Miguel Andujar for Garrett Cole when he was on the Pirates. Like, that's how high up they got Miguel Andujar.
Yeah.
He was never actually that good.
They hug their prospects a lot, whether they're good or bad. Like, Andujar is a good example of that. Clint Frazier was another one. Like,
yeah.
Volpe, even now.
Speed, Clint Frazier.
George Lombard, like, we'll kind of see what he turns into. But like Dominguez, Spencer Jones, right? They're all like top prospects that maybe you could flip for a sure thing, and they just don't. They hug them, and then they get to this point, right, where not necessarily Lombard, but like Volpe, who's been in the league, underperforming. Dominguez, been in the major leagues, underperforming. Spencer Jones now is 25 years old and in AAA. Like, at some point, you got to break through, right? And they hug their prospects a lot. And it gets frustrating when you're like, you could have traded for this pitcher or traded for this shortstop, right? Or this outfielder. And instead they just hang out in our minor leagues and then just disappear into the abyss that is MLB.
Yeah. They're just big time prospects until they get to the majors, and then 5 years down the road, they're playing third base for the Pirates, and you didn't even realize they're still in the league or something like that. So.
Yeah. Or Peraza now playing in the Angels for the Angels.
Playing for the Angels. Tyler Wade's a center fielder in Texas. Like, these guys are still out there, but they're like these top guys that are supposed to be the best, and they're quadruple A players sometimes, but they're just not major league talent, and you need to move on from them earlier than that. Well, we're going to close the show with one more thing. Today, the day of listening, the day of release is opening day on Netflix. We're not going to talk about opening day matchup. We're not going to talk about anything like that. The thing we're going to talk about is how crazy is it? It's on Netflix. So weird.
Yeah, and you see it in all the sports, and like they love getting in bed with streaming services, and money talks. It is what it is. It just stinks that you have the opening day, the big games, right? The rivalry matchup, everything's on a streaming device. Like whether it's now Netflix, Amazon, Peacock, Paramount, whatever, HBO Max, like it's unfortunate that that's what sports has come to. And it stinks that it's for the big games that you have to worry about.
Not to
a lot of people have Netflix, but it's like,
I don't have Netflix.
Why for opening day?
I'll be legally obtaining it, I'm sure. Well, I have the MLB package, so I don't have to really. But Netflix, Peacock, Apple, ESPN, any of those, I still have to have the streaming service, even though I pay to watch all the baseball games already. I have to have the streaming service on the streaming service. The thing that's, not to complain as a Yankees fan, but it is true. Like, the Dodgers are in the same boat, but like the Yankees are in it more because they're the East Coast team. they are on more platforms than any other team. They're on everything because everybody wants a piece of the Yankees.
Yeah.
They're on Apple. They're on Peacock. They're on ESPN. They're on Netflix. They're probably on Tubi. They're on all those other ones. I couldn't believe the World Baseball Classic was on Tubi. It was crazy.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God,
dude, there's
Tubi.
baseball on Tubi. I didn't even know, like, I thought Tubi was just bad or old movies. I didn't realize it was, like,
Yeah.
live events.
I thought Tubi was a made up thing. I didn't
No.
think it was a real
You
service.
turn it on, it goes, Tubi. I only know that because the Baseball World Classic was on there. It was like Canada versus Colombia was on Tubi.
Goodness.
They got thrown to Tubi. Like, put them on that. It's like when you go. It's like almost like the March Madness tournament. It's like, put them on True TV.
Put them on True TV app.
Put them on the Hallmark channel. It'll be good over there. By the way, I'm gonna close with this. Damn it, Gonzaga losing.
Oh yeah, they lost.
Heck,
Were they
not
lose
only
to?
lost, they lost to UT. So I got to hear
Yeah.
from all the UT people. Fraudulent team this year, though. Love the Zags, but they're fraudulent this year. All right, any closing thoughts for you before? Is it last time you could speak before the season is on? So any preseason predictions you have? Yeah, how about that? Who's your MVP? We'll just do the American League. I don't want to do
Judge. I think
Judge, all right.
Judge gets
Cy
another
Young.
one.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Cy Young's gonna be fun. I don't think Scuba will get it.
No, screw it.
But I think the American League Cy Young is gonna be a fun one. I don't think a Yankee will get it either, just because I don't think Fried will. I don't think Fried will stay healthy all year. I'm excited to see Cam Schiller this year. A full year of him. I'm excited
that's my
to see how
Cy
he
Young.
does. I'm excited to see how he does. Not my
Yeah.
Cy Young, but I'm excited to see how he pitches.
My MVP is Mike Trout. Cy Young's Verlander.
Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer. That's right, Max Scherzer. I remember it was funny. They made a big deal of Justin Verlander going back to the Tigers. Like, their rotation's stacked. It's like, it's not the signing that made it stacked. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Lucky if he comes out of the bullpen. But
Framber Valdez, American League Cy Young.
Valdez. I'll tell you right now. People say like, "Oh, big signing, really stacks rotation." I looked at his numbers. Like, he's like an average pitcher. Like, he's not an ace. Like, everyone was saying he should go to the Yankees, and I'm like, the Yankees don't really need a starter. Also, he's like average. Like, he's average. It's funny because for years the lineup was always so good, and it was like, we need a starter. And now it's like, we have such good starters. We need some bats. We need some bats.
Yeah, it's to the point where we like
Cashman, figure it out.
forget about Will Warren, you forget about Luis Hill, you forget about Clark Schmidt, like
Yeah.
all these guys that were like supposed to be.
Maybe we move on some of them. I don't know.
I think they will. I think they're going to trade Hill at the deadline. I think they'll trade Hill at the deadline.
Maybe we look for like a shortstop or something. Like, maybe we don't piece that together. Most important position on the field other than the starting pitcher. Maybe we don't piece that together. We have an opener at shortstop. What are we doing? Anyway, make sure you follow us on social media at Crosstown9 Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Also, Crosstown9 Podcast on Twitter. You can subscribe to us right here, whether you're listening on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube, or if you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, subscribe to us there. Every subscription really helps us with growing as a podcast as the season continues. Make sure you definitely check out the YouTube, though, because we may go live after a couple of these games. Maybe we'll go live after opening day. We'll see. We'll see what's going on that Wednesday. But we might go live. We'll do that on YouTube, so you're going to want to check that out there. Make sure you check out Mad Props. Kyle Higgins just came on to talk about Radiant Black and the Massive Verse and all this other stuff that he's doing. He's a comic book writer. He's really good. And we'll have, I think I said Dr. Sam Tosh to open the show. Her name's Ava Bunn. Sam Tosh is just her character. I don't think I actually said her actual name. Now that I'm thinking about it, Ava Bunn joined. She is on the new iteration of Scrubs. She was awesome. She's also a comedian. She has some tour dates coming up, so go check that out. The tour dates will be on there as well. That'll come out next week. So next Monday, or this Monday, you can catch that. Whatever the last Monday is of March, you'll catch that one there as well. Check out Sketching Up as well. We just talked about the new Spider-Man trailer that came out. So I know you're a Spider-Man guy as well. So I'll give you a little preview of what we were talking about, and I can tell you where my rant went on that one.
Oh goodness!
What was the point of the 12 3-second clips to just an hour later put out the full trailer? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I
Like,
could not tell you.
they didn't
why.
even give enough
Yeah, I
time
don't
to
know.
like people for Screen Rant couldn't break down the 12 clips yet. It was
I don't
already
know.
out. It was so
I never
stupid.
understood studios that do that when it comes to
Yeah,
movies.
well, Marvel, the way they're doing it, it's like the chairs thing. Like, who cares about that? And then like the 12, they had Tom Holland go, "Hello, everybody. I will be releasing a bunch of little clips from the new movie, so you could see some stuff." And like, then they did it all, and then like literally, it was like an hour later. It's like, here's the whole trailer,
Yeah.
and of course they washed things out again. Clearly washed some stuff out of the trailer. Like, there's other characters that are going to be in there that they
Of course. You got to.
washed out. Well, yeah, it would be a Spider-Man trailer without. It's what I said in sketching up is like, just don't put that clip in there. Just don't use that clip. You can use any clip from the movie. Why
I think
use
they
that
like
one?
I think they
They
like
like
the
it.
speculation,
Yeah, they like
social
it.
media. They like the clicks.
They need the buzz. You know, the trailer didn't get 700 million views in 24 hours. They need the buzz of the, I used this
Exactly.
scene. Yeah, I
Spider-Man can't carry on his own.
Yeah. Spider-Man can't carry on his own. He's not like a mainline. He's not like the only Marvel hero that can go up there with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Like, no, it's not that.
Can't do it. You need speculation.
When Ava joined the recording the other day, I had like, it just started playing. You know, like when you hover over a YouTube video, it just starts playing. And I was watching it. It was like, I think it was Screen Rant or it was one of those channels, and it was like, here's a breakdown of every Easter egg from this, and it's a 2-minute trailer. The video is over an hour and a half.
I know. Yeah.
Where do you get that from?
There was one YouTube
2 minutes.
There was one YouTube video, one YouTube channel that I used to watch a lot, and then I went back and saw one of their videos for that. Like, just it's fun seeing Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's fun seeing
and
them.
it
It's
was
just
like
funny,
that.
an hour and a
2
half.
minutes.
Like,
It is like an hour long. I'm like,
it's a 2-minute video. Like, where
and
is
it's
that
like
coming
random,
from?
but it's like random pauses on this flyer that references this comic book that came out and stuff like that. And I'm like, cool.
My favorite part is they break down all the Easter eggs, and then the movie comes out, and like, it is that Easter egg, but it has nothing to do with anything. Like, oh, this is an X-Men Easter egg from this comic book, and it's like never referenced other than that little poster. Like, the character doesn't show up or anything. It's just like they just want a little Easter egg for you. But good times, Spider-Man. By the time the next episode comes out, also actually the next episode's release date will have the Mario movie. So I don't know if you're a Mario movie guy. But
I watched whatever the first
one was
Mario
the second
one.
one will be coming out. I have major opinions.
It was
about
actually
that,
very
so.
entertaining.
It is very entertaining. I'm worried that they're putting too much into the second one. We counted on sketching up how many games, like Mario line games, are referenced in it compared to the first one, and it's just like quadrupled the amount. So unfortunate. But anyway, make sure you follow Crosstown 9, follow Sketching Up if you want to know more about any of that stuff we just talked about, because that's where we'll talk about that stuff. We'll see you guys next week. Go Yankees. For Mets fans, go with them or whatever. But happy opening day. Excited to be here. Let's go Yankees. Boom.
God sweat me.